Sporting a rather frosty and rather undead appearance, this upgraded Frankenstein type is a returnee from the days of Meteorot Girls Mission on the Nintendo 3DS. It is FRN01 Steinberger, with a kit of Field Repair, Double Thunder, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Shape Memory, which equalizes HP across all parts when charging Metaforce, and by extension will also restore broken parts back to service when equalizing HP. Now, essentially as the event reward for the incoming Girls Mission event at time of recording, Steinberger is yet another returnee from Girls Mission that is honestly a very open welcome to the game of Meteorot S, not just for what he comes packing with, but just for another opportunity to bring in another game model that came from a spin-off game and introduce it into a more conventional format and tactic. Field Repair on the head skill is a healing skill that, upon being used, will restore a certain amount of HP relative not only to the healing skill on his medal, but also relative to the mastery and matching of the legs on the terrain. So that means if you can match your leg terrain of A rank or better, and you have a pretty good healing skill on the medal, you'll get a pretty decent amount of HP back when using it. But if you can't quite match that for whatever reason, B rank or lower with your healing, with your leg mastery or a low skill on your healing medal, you probably will not get as much back and kind of use it more as a stall turn. Thunder on both arms is a paralyzed ailment that, upon attacking a target, will stop them in their tracks upon inflicting it on them. This will be very good for stalling them or buying yourself even just a few extra precious seconds on the field by stalling that rather dangerous threat on the field or high-end attacker, or making it easier for someone to come behind and even two-turn stun lock them with Bug or even Virus for two-turn stun locking, which, as of a patch of about 2 years ago, made Shock and Freeze also rather redundant and unable to stack. Biped Legs also means that Steinberger will have pretty solid coverage across all terrains, as Biped have arguably one of the best all-rounded leg terrain matches and ratios, but across the board, Steinberger is one of those models that's packing the bulk, but unfortunately not the specs that come with it. He is, first of all, triple heavy, which means that while his legs can support that at a heavy limit of 3, he is very, very susceptible to anyone that is using a gravity attribute skill. This can include anyone using press or brake hammer, wide brake. He will absolutely be feeling the weight and the pain for that upon tanking the blow. When it comes to the armor, as mentioned, as I said, he is most certainly packing the stats at about 3750 for the head, about 3250 per arm, and 3450 for the legs, so a moderately healthy HP pool despite his rather derpy and bulky appearance. He is most certainly packing the heavy HP to keep himself more as a sponge more than a shield. In terms of his leg stats, they're rounded, but unfortunately not great. He's packing about 599, just shy of 600 there for his mobility, so he's most certainly going to be on the slower end when it comes to running up to the line to take his turn. And that only makes it worse for him because, in addition to this, his heat and cool stats are ranking between low 400s to low 500s, which means speed is most certainly not this chunky fellow's priority while he's on the field. An evade of 529 also is unfortunately not really great either, as it means he will not be putting a lot of emphasis on dodging or grazing. Even the blind attacks may have a pretty solid success rate of landing the hit as long as he's on the field. A melee resist of 863 and a shoot resist of 882, although they are very close to each other, which is rather forgivable to a point, it is still pretty low in that nice little... It is in the decent zone, so it's not terrible, but you do want to exercise some pretty fair caution when using Steinberger, because while he may have the bulk, as mentioned, he unfortunately does not have the armor. All this being said, as a pure set scorer, I do sadly have to rate him a pretty flat 4.5 out of 5, and probably one of the more worse event rewards that we've seen up to date. Because while others, such as even Chi Behemoth from a while ago, who was also triple heavy, he at least had a lot of things going for him, such as heavy arms and stat cleanse, to kind of make even a triple heavy tank leg like him even moderately forgivable. Whereas really all Steinberger has is shape memory to keep himself moderately healthy and active on the field, and thunder for stalling enemies. And when it comes to thunder, if anyone's packing stat cleanse, he's unfortunately become very useless, especially coming into the effect that both his arms are heavy and they are the exact same ailment, further tying in the redundancy argument. As mixed parts, I do have to rate him just a little bit higher at about a 5.5 out of 10. Given that even though his legs may most certainly not be the most ideal for situations, especially if you're looking for something competitive and versatile, arms aren't bad. They have a pretty decent base power at a little over 1,000 or 1,100, but given that we can also get a hold of Thunder non-heavy with higher base power, or even Hyper Thunder or Hyper Freeze, depending on the bot, he can honestly be pretty outclassed moderately quickly. But if you are just starting out, or a rookie meta runner, Steinberger can probably bring some to your team that can hold you for a while, but he's unfortunately going to be a bot that once you find someone better, lighter, or faster, he's probably going to be the first to go.